Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leonardo stage for today. Up first, we have ANDREU IBANEZ. He's going to be talking about a flying automated defibrillator. He's going to be around all day in the live quarter if you want to ask him any additional questions after the speech. ANDREU, thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Good morning, everyone. It's so early in the morning. Not too much people, but we will try, and I appreciate after the speech your questions. We will have more time. Okay, let me introduce myself a little bit more. I'm ANDREU IBANEZ. I come from Lleida, Spain. Lleida is a city that is near Barcelona, 100 kilometers away. And I'm here to show you our project, FAED, that it's a project related to drones and to health, because we are on the stage of health. Okay? First, let me show you this slide. It's not a correct slide because the slides has to be with less information, but I have to put a lot of information there. Ponent 2002 is my company. Lleida Drone is one group of persons that we have in Lleida that for 2 years long we are working on the drone technology. We are at the Scientific Park of Lleida, and we have some partners. That Neosalus, for example, is the partner that brings us the cardioprotection technology. You have to be a professional in this area. Okay, I am a professional on the technology side, a programmer, hardware, but I'm not a professional on medicine. And also we work together with a Google developers group that help us on several programming stuff. We will see later. Here are some other persons that help us a lot on this project. Okay, this is the agenda for today. I will explain you how the idea comes, the concept of the idea, the different elements of the system, the technology, and the most important thing, the viability. Well, FAED stands for Flying Automatic Electronic Defibrillator. For any of you that do not, this is that defibrillator. The defibrillator is a machine that when some person has a cardiac attack, there are some pads that are to be put on your chest, and they will send a huge electrical current and will try to restore your cardiac rhythm, okay? This is a defibrillator. It's a regular machine that medical staff has, and emergency people has around the world. The idea was to bring that defibrillator to a place flying with a drone. Let me follow. This is something of this is the same. Use a drone to bring flying an AED, because the name of this is AED, Automatic Electronic Defibrillator, and we put an F on the front for flying, because we will bring the AED flying, okay? This is the FAED drone. We have it here. For you who are interested in the drone technology side, this drone, oops, sorry. Please, John. Close this. Thank you. This is not a standard drone. This is made by us because we understand that we have to know all the parts of the technology. That you will see in the presentation that there are several parts. The first part, of course, is the drone. We have built that. And for all of you that are interested in the technology side, this for drones, this is a dog made. I mean, we made it with a huge battery, because the question is that it has to fly at least for 20 minutes to go to a place. And then also we use ARDUCOPTER. ARDUCOPTER is one of the platforms, more standard platforms in the drone technology, that it's based on Arduino. You will listen about Arduino around on the party, because Arduino is the most important platform for do-it-yourself electronics. And it's a variant of the Arduino called ARDUCOPTER. And the most important thing is that ARDUCOPTER is an open platform. We use Arduino, we use ARDUCOPTER because we need to go inside the technology, go inside the brain of the drone to control what we can do with this, okay? We cannot do that with other platforms because they are closed usually. ARDUCOPTER, based on Arduino, is open, and we can program it and do several things. Then, what's the concept of this project? The concept of this project is basically that in a city, something like London, there are many millions of persons. If you want to cover the full city with defibrillators, you have to spend thousands and thousands, millions of pounds to have thousands of stations with defibrillators. You have seen many of the metro and around, okay? The concept was also that if there is a cardiac crisis, the very first minutes are the most important. So if you bring a defibrillator to a person who has a cardiac attack and you use it correctly, you have many more opportunities that this person becomes, again, in good health. Then, if you need too much electronic defibrillators, and the very first minutes are so important, we think about using drone technology to bring defibrillators to the place where the cardiac attack is happening, okay? And for this, the idea was, the FAED project is to have several drone ports in a city. We will see now what are the drone ports. To have drone ports in a city, and also to have drop points. Let me explain. Drone ports will be little hangars where these machines are on the roof of the buildings, connected to a power supply, because the battery has to be charged continuously, and also with data. Data means an internet connection to have access to the system. A little bit hangars, I mean, a case that with an electronic system they can open and the drone can fly. And in the roof of the buildings, the top of the buildings, because if there is on the roof, it will be easier to get enough altitude to fly. If the hangar are on the street level, it will take more time to go up. Then the other question is the drop points. The drop points are little places on the city that are marked on the soil of the streets that the drones will land. Let me explain why. For example, an emergency is happening here, okay? We hope not. Then we cannot bring a drone here inside because that's the O2 is covered. Okay? If something happens in Hyde Park between the trees, you cannot bring a drone there because the trees will not allow the drone to land. For this reason, we think about to have drop points that mean that there will be some market areas where the drones will land. I mean, there will be something like hundreds of drone ports and thousands of drop points. And you will see later how it works. The drone ports open, the drone flies to the place where a drop point is, and is the nearest to the place where the emergency is happening. All of this stuff I'm speaking about, you will see a video after, a funny video, because we have done that. This is a real project. We have almost every place of hardware and software ready, and we have done a video that shows how it works. Those are a simulation of the drone ports and the drop points. Well, a simulation because, as I told you, the drone ports have to be a place where the drones are connected to the power and also connected to the internet. Vale? And the drop points will be market zones in the street. Okay? This is a simulation only for the video that we do. FAED mesh. FAED mesh is one of the concepts. I mean, the mesh means that there will be hundreds of defibrillators and also will be thousands of drop points. Then the FAED mesh really is a software. It's a software that handles all of the information for this system works. We have lots of drones. Maybe one drone, for example, is not ready because the battery has gone on and it's not working and the drone is not ready. We can have, for example, we need sensors on the city to know how is the wind, because if wind is something like, I don't remember, but more than 10 kilometers by hour, the drone cannot fly. We need information from the city, mostly for wine and for showers. And then we need to know the status of the drone ports. Okay? FAED mesh is a system, software system, that handles all of this information and helps the emergency control rooms to send the drones to the places where emergency is happening. This is a simulation of the control room, okay? People on the screens will have all the information around the different drone ports and the different drop points. And when an emergency comes, an emergency call comes, the system will say, the drone port number 3 is ready and it's the nearest one to this drop point. And then with a simple touch of a key, the drone will fly to the place because The question is that the flight has to be fully automated. There is no person driving the drone. I mean, the drones go alone. The drones has to be programmed with all the different routes. If we have, for example, 10 drone ports and 100 drop points, the drone has every route from every drop port to every drop point. Okay? They are programmed. The person sees that this is the drop point correct and the drop point, and then the system alone sends the defibrillator to that place. Mobile app, very important. The question is that citizens will be able to download an application. Then when they see, I will show you later in the video, okay? But when they see a problem on the street, they only have to push. The system shows their location, and then automatically sends a signal to an emergency center. Okay, I don't remember. In England, it's 999 maybe. Emergencies in Spain, for example, is 112, 112. The system automatically sends a signal to the emergency system. Okay, and then the emergency system calls you back and asks you, what's happening? Oh, I'm here. I'm seeing a person who's in the street. His face becoming blue. He's not breathing correctly. Stop, be quiet, relax. He interrogates the person to try to understand if really a cardiac emergency is happening, okay? And if the answer of the person are correct, the person from the emergency control understands that really an emergency is happening, and what does is, with the system we see before, they send an order to the correct drone port to send the defibrillator to the nearest drop point. And also, of course, he sends an ambulance, because this is nothing with an ambulance. Because as you will see in the video, the only question about this, if you can bring a defibrillator a couple of minutes earlier than the ambulance begins, maybe you can save this life. But obviously, it's needed to someone that is spared and can handle the situation better than a machine. Okay? Here is the screens I show you. The first screen to send in the signal, where you are located. The system calls back to you. And then also the system shows you what is the nearest point and sends you the information how to go to the nearest point where the drone will fly, the drop point. Why? As I told you, if we're inside the O2, no drone will fly there. The drone cannot enter by the door and go there. But there will be a couple of drop points outside, and it will show you. If you are O2, you have to go that way and go this place, and it will be marked on the street. It will be easy to find. Drone technology. As I told you in the beginning, this is a project that has many areas. One of the areas is the drones. The other area is the software, and of course the technology for the AED. But this is a standard technology. For us, this project is most a drone project and also a software project. We choose ANDREU, as I told you, as a platform because we need to enter to the software and to program many routes and many other situations. We need sensors for the wind. We need many things to be controlled on the drone. And also, we need a software platform that will be able to control all of this, the FAED mesh. And for this reason, we are using several Google technologies. And also, we think to use Google's Liquid Galaxy technology. I don't know if you have time to see our Liquid Galaxy we have outside, the little cluster with 3 screens that you can fly around with a 3D joystick. But the idea is this slide, sorry, is repeated, but the idea is to use the Liquid Galaxy to control this system. Okay, ANDREU is the platform. This is ANDREU Pilot, ANDREU. This is one of the screens of the software. Let me show you this question. I explained this question yesterday afternoon because why we choose ANDREU. We choose ANDREU because it's open and also because we know that person, Chris Anderson, who was for lots of years the managing director of Wired magazine, the most important magazine, technology magazine on the world. And that person leaves his magazine with earning a lot of money every month, having a lot of prestige, being one of the most important persons in the technology world. And he drops that work, easy work, and he becomes a CEO of a company called 3D Robotics, because he really thinks that the world will change with drones. And he has now 3 different factories in New Mexico, in San Francisco, and in other places, I don't remember, in the United States. And also in Asia, I think in Thailand. He changes his easy life to go to a startup based on drones and using that technology. He's bringing lots of people to this community because it's open source. It's an open source, open hardware. Lots of people around the world are working on this, and we have chosen Adducopter for that reason. This is Liquid Galaxy. Liquid Galaxy, many of you have seen the system, something like the little screens that do have outside, but we have systems around the world with many more screens. This one has 48 screens. It's in one university in US. And this photo I showed you before can be how Liquid Galaxy handles the FAED mesh, having all the information about the meteorological sensors and the routes, different routes for the drones and so on. And let me show you a video of another Liquid Galaxy for you to understand that you, for example, have seen the Liquid Galaxy we have outside. It's a small one with 3 screens, but I want to show you how this technology can be really huge and can be used on other situations. This is Lleida, our city. Maybe you are thinking now, why I'm showing that screen? That video. It seems to be not linked to our presentation, but it is. We understand that using Liquid Galaxy technology, that we have a great knowledge of it, can allow us to use that technology on the huge center control rooms of emergency. Usually, an emergency center room has many operators at the phone, lots of screens. They are looking at the information. And I show this video because this is the huge step in that technology. This is in Google's main offices in Mountain View, California. It's done with 8 different projectors, and it covers the floor and the walls. It's a next step, but I show you because I want to show you that technology. This afternoon at 5 p.m. I will do another speech regarding that technology specifically. But as I told you, Angel, that is here, our manager for robotics, we try to link all of projects, okay? And the drone FAED project has a nice link to Liquid Galaxy because we can use it this way, okay? That's going to end, but we will have the video after. Viability. Okay, some of you can think this is a crazy idea, and it's really viable. I mean, it can be done. The answer is yes. We have all the technology. We have all the pieces are almost ready. I mean, the software, the drones. We have tested it. It works. We have the technology. We have the knowledge. But there is a huge problem. This is really, I can say illegal, but I would say illegal. I mean, there is no law at this time in almost all the countries in the world to allow drones fly freely on the sky. For example, in UK, there is almost a law ready to go out. Okay, there have been several samples of using drone technology here in London, for example. Not too many months ago, someone used it to bring pizzas from Domino's Pizza to a place. It was a trick because really the drone was not programmed to make it alone, but there is a person going with the remote controller of the drone on the street and bringing the pizza. That was funny, but it was not a real project. But imagine a future, 5 years maybe, where the drone technology is becoming in a greater deal, and it's really ready to go to the main market, and the skies are full of drones. What will happen? It will be crazy. Someone has to make a law to say, OK, there is a new technology. It's called drones. Lots of people want to make things. We want to bring defibrillators to the people, but other people can bring medicines, or can bring goods, or can bring the post, or can bring pizzas. What will happen with the sky full of drones? It will be crazy. Okay, it has to be a legislation. The legislators around the world are working on this, and in the future, maybe 1 year, 2 years, the laws will be ready in almost all the places. In the US, for example, they have also a law ready to go to the government. And in many countries, I don't know, in Germany, I think they are thinking about. In Spain, they will wait till other countries have done the legislation to copy it. This usually happens. But someone has to think in the future. Legislators will do his job, and we have to do ours. We have to think crazy things, and this is what we have done. OK, and let me show you the video, because this is a speech. I try to explain the whole thing, but I will show you a video representing the idea. You have to excuse me, but the video is not in English. It's in Spanish. And I don't have time to make some kind of subtitles, but I think it's enough. It can be easily understandable. Let me show you the video. This is an event. People are hanging around. Bye-bye. We leave. And then something happens. Can we get a little bit volume?
Juan Francisco, oye, tío, Juan Francisco,
Okay.
¿Qué me escuchas?
This is the view of the person that is having the heart attack. Then, let's use the FAED application. Let's call to the emergency system. The emergency system calls you back.
112, dígame.
Hello, what happened?
Sí,
What was going?
112. Hola. Mira, tengo aquí una persona que ha caído aquí al suelo.
We have a person that is on the
Me he estado
soil.
mirando, no respira.
Vale.
It's not breathing.
Vale, no se ponga nervioso.
Don't.
Le enviamos un desfibrilador con un dron inmediatamente.
Relax. We are sending you a defibrillator, and also we are sending you an ambulance. Okay, thank you.
¿Y cómo llegar? Que veo que está escasamente a unos 20
We
metros.
will show you how to go to the drop point.
Vale, muy bien, lo espero.
Thanks. And then that person knows what to do with a person who has an heart attack. Not usually every of us has the knowledge to make a cardiac massage. Then the ambulance is coming. But the drone is also ready. This is not a correct drone port. The drone port will have some kind of housing. This is a simulation. And then the drone goes. The flight is fully automatic. No one person is controlling the drone, okay? This is a view from the drone, flying. This is our city, Lleida. Hey, look, the drone is coming. This is the drop point. Simple velcros. The AED is attached. Easy way of taking it out. the ambulance is still coming because, you know, traffic depends on the distance. And also a very important thing that the video is, as we cannot have too much volume, one important thing of these defibrillators are that they have the full instructions in how to use in voice. Only if you press this button, it becomes to talk you in all the idioms. You can configure it in English or Spanish, whatever, and it says everything you have to do, and this person is doing that. Okay, it says, open his chest and do that and do that. Every step in easy language. Okay, the ambulance is still coming, but the person is already applying the defibrillator. If you follow the instructions without any knowledge, you can try to solve his life. The ambulance is still coming. But if the drone arrives only a couple of minutes before the ambulance, that it depends on the traffic of the city and the hour. If you do that in London at 8 a.m., no one will arrive. The ambulance will take many minutes. Okay, these few minutes the drone arrives before the ambulance can save the life. Okay, then the professionals get the person and fix it to the hospital. But luckily, this person has become again, the heart attack has been separated for the defibrillation, and they will take care of him in the hospital, but the person is now with his heart beating. That's the important point. I think this video really shows you how my speaking really working. Okay? We have got a lot of media because the project is nice. These are the people that help us making all the stuff. Our City Town Council and the university and the ambulance people and many other persons that helps us on the project. That's all. Thank you very much. And if you want, I think we will have some minutes for Q&A. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, if I can.
Hello.
Yes.
Congratulations for the idea. I thought it was very wonderful.
Thank you.
Anyway, there are a couple of things that I don't understand. The first thing is when all this project will be available in the future, you know. What about if the drone meets an obstacle during his way to the place?
Let me answer the first question. The second question, please, you will repeat me. When this project will be available? Okay, we are doing that project in a mixed company and personal efforts. I mean, we are many groups of persons I showed you on the beginning. And we are doing it by ourselves. I mean, it's not a project that someone it's going to buy from us. I mean, we are developing this because it's a project that we believe on it. When it will be available? If we know, for example, that in 6 months it will be allowed, that in Germany we can do that, the project will be ready for that time. We have it almost ready, but we are not sure when the law will allow this to be a real project. It's more a matter of the law, not for the technology. We have the software, we have the drones, we have the knowledge about the medicine. I mean, we work together with people specialists on this, but you know, at this time, we cannot go to the City Council of London and say, hey, we have a project that will save lives. It will cost you less money than putting thousands of defibrillators. You will only have to put hundreds. We cannot go because it's not illegal, but illegal. I mean, there is no law. And what was the other question?
The second question was, if the drone is flying and it encounters an obstacle like a bird or a branch of a tree or something unexpected, something
the drone has many other sensors. I haven't shown you because, you know, the project is huge, total for 40 minutes. But the point is that the drone flies from a roof to a place. And the only thing that does the drone is go up to something like 40 meters. It depends on the city. For example, if in London, most of the city has only three floors. I mean, at the city of the center, it will be 10 or the huge skyscrapers, lots of them. But 90% of London cities houses has only 3 floors. I mean, if you fly the drone 40 meters, that's okay. Then the only thing that does the drone is from a roof of the building, get the height you have think about, for example, 40 meters, and then goes directly straight to the place and then lands in vertical. Okay. And there is no obstacle. Why there will be an obstacle? It can be an obstacle, something like a bird, of course, a bird, of course. But no other kind of obstacles because the drop points has been chosen with no obstacles. We will not put a drop point under a tree. We will put it in a place where there is nothing else, at least for meters, or a dozen or 20 meters. I mean, we will put the drop points in places where the drone can land. And also the drone is so, it can land in a very, I mean, maybe in a 4 meters square, it always lands on a place because we use GPS technology with other technologies and it can be so, it can go almost exactly to the place.
And another question, I was thinking about, have you thought about the possibility that the drone itself would be able to, how can I say, I mean, if the ambulance is really late, does anyway the problem? The drone can arrive immediately, but if there's no one able to put the defibrillator on,
but the question is someone has seen the person that has the problem, and this person is the person that picks his smartphone, launches the application. The application is only a point. You don't really need the application. You can call 999. 999, I'm here, 999. At the moment knows where you are because your phone is geolocated. And yes, what's the problem? Oh, I see a person that is not breathing, and so on. And then that emergency control room understands that there is a cardiac attack. But always there has to be a person. The drone cannot do that by itself. It's not a robot. It brings things to a place, but it's not a robot. It will never apply. The person that sees the cardiac attack is the person who has to call the system, and also to the person that has to go for the defibrillator. Maybe there are other persons there, and hey, please go there and pick the defibrillator and put it there. And also, the instructions are so easy. You only have to press a button, and the defibrillator begins to talk and says, please do that, do that, do that.
Hi.
Hi.
I think this is a great idea, but you probably know that because you showed it in the video. The defibrillator only works after 2 minutes of CPR because the heart needs some blood.
Yeah.
So what if, I mean, if you just apply the defibrillator without knowing how to do the cardiac massage, it's probably not going to work.
As I told you in the very beginning, we are not medical persons. We have I mean, almost no medical knowledge, but we work together with a company who is specialized on that area. It's Neosalo solution. It was on the slide at the very beginning. That is the we know very well how it works. Then one of the questions is that it shows on the video, but this machine were those at the very beginning. I can put the video. The first step that is read aloud to you is that you have to put the stickers on the chest of the person, and what this GR does the first is to get a knowledge of what is really happening inside. It does not sense the high voltage directly to the person, because maybe the person is dead, maybe the person is alive, maybe, no. What this GR does is to understand what is happening. And the video shows that the person applies this and then stays for a few seconds, and the machine says, okay, this person is really having a heart attack. Go away, because we are going to launch several thousand balls. Go away and press the red button, and when you press the red button, the person says, please stay away, something like this. And then when press the red button, the high voltage is launched. I mean, the machine is the one that understands if that person is at the correct moment to get the voltage.
Yeah, I agree, and like it's really good. But my comment is that this would really be useful if the population was taught, you know, how to do the CPR and everything.
Absolutely,
because,
always.
for example, in Spain,
yeah,
people don't know. Only people who are like nurses or you know, doctors or someone.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
like
but
maybe as that you could, you know, promote.
It's not really needed to make the cardiac massage. Okay, I mean, if you have a defibrillator, the main job to send the voltage and to try to become the heart attack rate again is made, but it's not really need to make the massage. We do the massage because we know how to do it, and that person knows. But I agree with you. Almost no one knows how to do that. But the point is that if the heart is stopped, this machine knows that the heart is stopped and sends the high voltage. The massage is better, but if you don't know the massage, this does the rest. Maybe it will save the life, or no. This is a question of the person, of what happens really, what kind of heart attack, because there are some heart attacks instantaneously. Nothing can be done, not a person or a machine. There are many differences. But I agree with you. It's needed some kind of formation for the population, and that's the point. It's needed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just to echo those points, I think it's a really great idea, so congratulations. Just a detailed point. When it landed in the video, it landed on a special sort of
drop point.
Is that just for the video? And it landed on a special. Sorry, it landed on the video on a special square.
We call it drop point.
Sorry, yeah.
We call it drop point. A drop point is the place where the drones are pre-programmed to land.
Oh, right.
Pre-programmed, because as I tried to explain all of you, is that we cannot send the drone exactly to the place where the emergency is happening, because if we send it to O2, there is a roof, the drone cannot enter here. We have pre-programmed places called drop points where the drone flies from the drop port to the drop point. Okay, you understand? Right. It's a marketplace on the street. It says, here a drone can fly. Now, if the drone arrives, you will know, because the drone makes some sound, and also he has a little buzzer. It's something like an ambulance when it lands, and it's marked on the street.
So you'd need, for a city, so if London had this, you'd need lots of those
squares. The idea is to
everywhere.
have tens of thousands of drop points, but this is only a signal on the street. I mean, this is something like a pint, nothing else. Tens of thousands for London, tens of thousands of drop points, only a few hundreds. It has to be studied, of course. A few hundred drone ports. I mean, maybe for London, you can do with 100 drones, but you need, obviously, tens of thousands of drop points. But the drop points is only a painting on the screen. Nothing else is needed.
Oh, so you can't, is it because it's just impossible to land it in open space? It doesn't?
No, it's not impossible, but there are 2 points. Okay, one point is the obstacles. If this is happening on Hyde Park under a tree, the drone cannot land there. It's impossible. There is a tree. And to make enough intelligence on the drone to see that there is a tree and line in another place, that's crazy stuff. Maybe he goes on the like. Then, for this reason, the idea was to clear mark some points on the soil, on the street, where the drones can land. And also, we have to have these points perfectly located on the software, because the point is the drone ports, where the drones are located, knows where are the drop points, the points to be there. And when the emergency happens, the person at the emergency room sends the drone from one side to the other. It cannot be to any place. It will be to the nearest drop point.
Okay. And does it have to be does it visually see the thing, or does it just know where it is? Does it have to be quite visible as well?
Okay, it's marked on the street,
Yeah.
it's painted, and also it shows you on the smartphone.
Yeah.
The smartphone shows you a map saying you are here, and the nearest drop point is there, and it shows you the instruction how to go there. It says, go to left, walk 100 meters, you will be to street, Cannabis Street, and then here is the nearest drop point.
Okay, but it has to, for the purpose of the drone, it has to be quite visible, does it? As
Sorry?
in, does it have to be? Does the drone see the thing visually, or does it already?
No. The drone has already pre-programmed the situation by
so
GPS. It's geolocated. The drone knows all the drop points on a city.
Okay.
It's inside the software. It has every drop point, every place where it can land. It pre-programmed.
Yeah.
The person at the emergency room sees that the software is getting the software is the one that will thinks that nearest drone ready for depart is this one. Nearest drop point of the person is this one. Do I have to send the drone? Because always will be a person, the one that makes the decision, and the drone goes.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether you could use things that were already in the city as things to send it to, like a bus stop or something that already exists all over the city. If everyone knew that the nearest bus stop was, for example, or a post box, or something that's already there, and then you don't have to set up a whole infrastructure.
Okay, this can be an idea. But what we think is that, when there is a helicopter port, it's heavily marked on the street. Why? Let me explain you another thing. This machine is that size because the defibrillator weighs something like 1.5 kilos, okay? Then the drone has to be at least this size to have the enough power with the motors to bring that to something like 50 meters in the air and then go for 20 minutes to a place, okay? Then, internally, we got this. Let me see if my English is how is the name? Lawnmower. Lawnmower. Cortadora de césped. This runs at 3,000 RPMs per minute. I mean, it turns 3,000, and this is made by carbon fiber. If you put your finger there, you will have no finger. If you put your arm, you will have no arm. This cuts, because this is turning at a very fast speed, very fast, because the point is that it has to go fast to the place where it's happening, and also it's made in carbon fiber. Why? Because this can be touched in any place, and it will not break. It's so strong. It's carbon fiber. It's the strongest materials we know. Okay? If you put the bone will not be, but you have no skin. I mean, it will cut your skin fully. This is a perilous machine. Okay? For this reason, it's shown on the video. The person sees that the motors stop, and then it takes the defibrillator outside, if you remember the video. Okay? For this reason, we cannot send the drone to any place, because it has to be clearly marked that this is a place where a perilous machine will land. This is our idea. I accept your point, but this is our idea. This is a perilous machine in that case. I mean, it cuts, and it really hurts, lots. No more questions? No? Thank you very much for your attention. My pleasure. Thanks a lot.